Viewers, welcome to our discussions on astrology, Maddie's astro predictions. So, this weekend we are having an eclipse on April 30th. Basically, this eclipse will be not visible all over the world, it's just taking part in few continents like Antarctica and South America, etc. But still, I always say that no matter where the eclipse is visible, since the concerned planets are experiencing the eclipses, so it will have an effect on all the living entities on earth, irrespective they are able to see these eclipse or odd eclipse, whatever it is. Since the grahas are undergoing and grahas are controlling all our happenings, it is to be assumed that we are getting affected by the eclipses. So basically, as far as India is concerned, when the eclipse is happening in Antarctica or the South American countries, it will be somewhere around midnight 2 a.m. when the peak reaches. As per the internet data, the peak in India is around 2 a.m. 11 minutes. And region we have taken is Mysore. Okay, I don't know why they have mentioned Mysore, but the internet says the referral point would be Mysore for India. So we have taken those assumptions and are trying to going to predict on what might happen. Of course, solar eclipse, the effects will last long. The results may come within 4 months to 1 year. And as far as lunar eclipse is concerned, it will be within 4 months, because solar is a bigger phenomenon. Sun is involved here. Sun is getting eclipsed, and Sun is a bigger planet, and we always I've seen that the effects go up to 1 year. But of course, as soon as the eclipse is over, and after a few days, people forget about the eclipse, and they don't validate that any incident happening is connected to the solar eclipse. That's wrong. Actually, solar eclipses are the main referral points of any incidents happening in any country or around the world. Okay. After the introduction, now we are going to predict for the world. So this is how the world chart looks on the date. That is for India, it will be around May 1st morning 2 a.m. Okay. So morning 2 a.m. May 1st 2022. That's what the data I have taken. And I have got this Kundali. Okay. Here Kundali, what I see is Saturn and Mars are present in Lagna. Of course, the combination of Saturn and Mars is not good. Another important point is Saturn has just changed its sign from Makara Rashi, Capricorn, to Kumbha Rashi, Aquarius. You can see Saturn is just 0 degrees and 6 seconds. Okay, or you can say not even a minute. It is just on the border. It's in Sankranti. It's a transition. So generally, transition is very, it's a bad situation. So it's not a good sign. So from 12th sign, it is coming to the Lagna of the world. Of course, I strongly believe this is not good. We can expect some kind of troubles happening, and Mars is involved in that. Mars is already present in that house. Maybe military actions, maybe some kind of fightings, injuries, blood, and this is what we expect. So overall, in short, I feel there will be some kind of intensified military trouble. The main point what we have to see is what do you call the eclipses is taking place is in the third house of the universal chart on that day. So what is happening? Third chart represents neighbors. This is the thing we can see, neighbors. So as I have mentioned, the point number 1, issues in neighboring countries of the world. With this combination of Saturn and Mars in Lagna, I really feel the war between Ukraine and Russia, which is the focal point at present time, is going to continue and also is going to intensify, because Rahu generally blows up things, and as Saturn has entered Lagna, Saturn is also going to have a say on the third house. So it's a combination of Saturn, Sun, Rahu, Moon. Since Saturn is very weak, uh, we may assume Saturn's effect will be less. But since it is in a transiting stage, it is changing the sign on that particular day. I expect some bad. Why bad? Because Saturn represents loss or suffering or all these kinds of delays, these things. So the world may see some kind of suffering around the eclipse time, which is taking place in the third house. Also, third house is Aries, so Sun is very strong here. Fire is there. That is been eclipsed by Rahu. On the positive side, maybe the governments may cool down. That is another advantage. See, the general saying is, if there is an eclipse in Ketu house, results are bad. If the eclipse is happening in the Rahu house, the results are good. Hopefully, the results may good. Hopefully, the war may end. Ukraine-Russia war may end. That's what we hope. But still, since Saturn is in the midst of changing sign, I don't think this may happen. Okay, this might happen. And going further, Saturn is changing sign. I mentioned Saturn was in Lagna, so the whole world will have some kind of issues, maybe military issues, because Mars in Lagna. So there will be a lot of anger around the world. And Jupiter Venus conjunction is there in the second house. It's good for economy, but it is hemmed between malefics like Saturn and Mars in the first house, Rahu and Sun in the third house, Jupiter and Venus in the second house. It is middle in between malefics. So again, these planets might not give its positive effects because of the Papakartari Yoga happening. That's an negative sign. Again, Mercury is in Marana Karanakasthana, that is 4th house. So, will there be an earthquake? I feel so, because Mercury is not comfortable in 4th house, and 4th house represents all kinds of things like moon, that is mother, the land, property, vehicles, all these things. Mercury is not happy there. And also it represents land, as I told you. So would there be earthquakes around the world, or in turn would there be loss of land, loss of uh, mother or motherly love? All those things will be in trouble. So look out for earthquakes around the world during this time. This is for the whole world. Ketu is in 9th house, so again dharma. Okay, that is a different issue, we will not talk about it. But overall in crisp, Saturn Mangala in first house, so there's a lot of tension or anger around the world. Jupiter and Venus hemmed between malefics, Papakarti Yoga, economy or money issues will be there. Eclipse happening in the third house, Rahu, Saturn, Moon involved. Moon is a lot of 6th house, so again fights. So we can easily tell there will be a lot of fights, court cases, mothers will be in danger, motherlands, anything related to mother. So this may happen. People need to be careful about it. Also, Saturn is going to aspect third house, 7th house, 10th house. So these areas, 7th is the relationship between the countries, 10th house is the professions. So all these things might be in trouble, because again this is a changing phase. The sign is changing. Saturn is changing from Capricorn to Aquarius on that day. It's a critical period. The planet is in a transitory period, and such a situation, Grahana is also happening, or the eclipse is also happening. It's not a good sign, what I feel. Now coming to India, the same chart when we keep it to India, that is Taurus. Taurus Lagna is India's chart. This is how we see. So it's a transit points. Now when we look at the Indian chart, Grahana is happening in the 12th house, which is aspected by Saturn. Okay, 12th house represents all kinds of expenses, hospitals, foreign connections. So we might see some troubles in foreign offshores, or some kind of losses, some kind of expenditure in hospitals. Government might spend some. Government may undergo some losses. Of course, government is not going to mention what losses they are going to. They would have undergone. But thing is that India as a whole nation will undergo some kind of loss in the 12th house, or some kind of foreign some foreign travel, maybe our government officials may go to foreign, but there is something connected to foreign. So India will be pulled into foreign affairs. That also might be the case. Okay, that's what I consider, because Mars and Saturn in the house of profession, that is 10th house, and Mars is lord of 7th house, that is again connected to partnerships. Mars is sitting with Saturn, so might be our professions connected to the, or our companies, MNC companies which are located in the foreign countries, they may face some trouble, just like Infosys had faced some trouble from Russia. The Russia shut off Infosys company, something like that. There's a huge loss for Infosys company. This might happen to other companies also. This would report to other companies where the companies may get crushed due to the geopolitical situations happening in the foreign countries. So our profession, or our professionals in India will be affected by the war which is happening in the other countries, or some geopolitical situations, or geopolitical problems happening in other countries, or foreign countries, will affect our professionals. That means our professionals might, or Indian professionals might lose jobs, or may find some trouble in jobs, or may find some slowdown in jobs due to this war kind situation. So that is one of my predictions. So these things will be happening in May, or maybe followed by May months. Then again, Saturn Mars in 10th house, expected by Ketu. 100% there will be some breakdowns in professions, or MNC companies will be in trouble. They may face some trouble. They may have to withdraw some agreements which they have signed with the foreign countries. Might happen anything. Also, Saturn and Mars are aspecting 4th, so earthquake probability will be more. So here again, 5th is Leo, which is enemy to Saturn, and Mars is also aspecting 5th house. I feel the intensity of earthquake will be very less, because Mars and Saturn are placed very far away, about 17 degrees difference is there. But still, since these two negative planets are aspecting the 4th house, which represents land, property, etc., so loss of property, or some kind of earthquakes might happen. But since the degrees are wide, hope the intensities will be less. But again, Rahu is also going to aspect the 5th house, sorry, the 4th house. From 12th house, it's going to aspect 5th. So the Grahana, so Rahu is going to be strong, so that might intensify. So look out for earthquakes. I am expecting less intensity when the Grahana is not so strong, when India is not visible so strong. But intensity is the question mark. What I doubt. My intuition says intensity will be less, but there will be earthquakes. And Ketu in 6th house, Terror Sea. So Ketu is basically headless. It's a troublemaker. So this might have some kind of accidents or whatever it might be. But sports-wise, of course, it will be positive. For sports persons, it will be positive. But still, since it is aspecting the 10th house from 6th house, there may be some breaks, career breaks, or there may be deal breaks. There may be some kinds of memorandum of understanding to be signed between MNCs or government companies, etc., with the foreign people. So maybe at this particular time, we might see some kind of deals broken. That's what I mean. Deals could be broken in this period. So these all things should be looked out. Infosys is one example which has happened, but I feel more companies will be in trouble after this eclipse. So this is what I like to predict. Let's see. Let's hope for the better. And also one last point, Mercury is aspecting 7th house. So this means we'll have multiple partners. India country will have multiple. It will try to maintain partnership with both US and both Russia and maintain its neutrality. So these things will be there. Thus I'll be ending my predictions for the next video. I'll be uploading about the effects of lunar eclipse which will happen after solar eclipse. That's kind of 15 days. Okay. So watch out for my